So welcome guys, the first thing we'll be doing will be to join the side panel with the front piece, and you see me doing that just now. And after that, the full workings on the different pockets will start. The first pocket will be the suit breast pocket, then the next pocket will be the double weld pocket, which will also be the jacket pocket. Then the inner pocket on the facing will be the single weld pocket, and I'll be explaining all that in the course of this video. So we've successfully joined the side panel to the front piece, and we've also sewn the dart. The dart is the half point of the chest piece we took when we were making our pattern drafting, and that's the pocket line. So the next thing will be to open up our seams and add a little bit of water, then use our pressing iron to open everything up and straighten things. So after doing that, you should get something exactly like this. So you can see how smooth it is. So after of our pocket itself, so the line for the pocket is there. Let's officially start the pocket making now. So for the pocket making, we will start with the breast pocket, and for the breast pocket, we'll fold the piece we'll be working with on both sides, and I'll show you how. So this front piece is two pieces joined together, and as you can see, I've marked out the pocket line on both sides, and I've also taken my dart and joined the side panel to the front piece. So I'll be working on one piece, and I'll be working on the piece that has the breast pocket. So like I said earlier, the breast pocket is folded on both sides. That is what actually makes it different from the welt pocket. So you place it below like that, and you also place a plain fabric we just added gum stay. Mind you, both of them has gum stay added to it. So for the double welt pocket, we'll just place both pieces side by side like that, and we'll make a 1/4 inch stitch. The 1/4 inch stitch will begin from the point of chalk mark to the end of the chalk mark. So we'll just make a 1/4 inch stitch from that point up to the end. We will not reach the exact end of the fabric because I don't want it loose. Now for the breast pocket, we will sew the down piece from the beginning to the end, but for the upper piece, you will just make a little stitch in between both ends like that. I repeat, for the down piece, you will sew from one end to the other, and for the upper piece, you will just make a small stitch in between. So succeeded in making our stitches. So now I'll be going straight to the notching and the bending. So you can see the stitch for the top was tiny and that of the down was full. So for the double welt pocket, the stitch of the down was smaller than the stitch of the upper piece. So for the breast pocket, you will just notch in between like that. Then we'll make our diagonal notch up to the edge of the upper stitch and also up to the edge of the down stitch. But while making our notch, we will not touch the thread. We'll just cut up to the point, but we will not touch the thread. So we'll make our diagonal stitch for the other part, so just like we did for the first part. Now for the down line, we'll do the same. We'll make a stitch at the middle of the sewing line. Then we'll make a diagonal stitch to the top. Then we'll also make a diagonal stitch to the down, close to the edge, but you will not allow your scissors to touch your thread. So you cut straight to the down part too. You also cut to the upper part. So if you are not really clear about this, you can check videos I make specifically on how to make breast pockets, jacket pockets, and the rest. I basically used a very big material to do it so it can be visible. So if this is not clear, you can always check those videos. But as you can see, the folding is pretty straightforward. After doing that, I'll use my machine needle to just hold it down. Then for the down piece, you will just fold by a quarter on both pieces. You fold the upper part by a 1/4 inch after bending everything inwards, and you also fold the down part by a 1/4 inch, because the size of the difference between the upper and the down stitch is actually half inch. So you just make sure you fold both parts by a quarter inch. You don't have to be in a hurry to do this. You have to just take your time and make sure you get what you want, because if you want your suit pocket to be perfect, the difference in height must be uniform. That's you one part will not be higher than the other part, and you expect your pocket to come out right. So you just take your time to do the needful, and you succeed in getting a perfect result. So as you can see, we've gotten what we want, and that's that. We've created both pockets of the front piece. That's the breast pocket or the chest pocket and the double welt pocket, which will soon be the jacket pocket. So I use my machine to match it down, just a random stitch, just to hold it down before I find time to use my hand needle to stitch it on both sides. And the arrowhead on both sides are also held down. That is what will make it hold itself firmly. So you sew the arrowhead down on the right and also on the left side. The arrowhead for the welt pocket is slanted because of the way we position the chest pocket. And for the double welt pocket, the arrowhead too will also be held down on both sides. I don't like my pocket reaching the end of that slit because I want it to be able to hold itself. I don't want everything just scattered all over when I'm working. But you can allow yours reach the end if you want. Now for the inner pocket, the workings is pretty simple. You just close both pieces for the breast pocket and you sew round from one top to the other top. And for the double welt, you use a very big material, not this small material you see me explaining. You stitch it at the top and you also stitch it all around at the down part too. A double welt pocket will automatically become a jacket pocket when you impute a flap or a patch or whatever you call it from wherever you are from. So for this double welt pocket that we will be converting into a jacket pocket, we'll be using a gum stay to create our flap. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be using this gum stay to check the measurement of the flap until I get the exact measurement I need before I will gum to my fabric. So I'll just trim it to my desired shape. Now for your flap, you can make it a square, a parallelogram, a half a sphere. But for this, I'll be using this shape you see me making. So that is the shape I'll be working with. So what I'll do is I actually folded the gum stay into two. So whatever I am cutting is actually for two. So I'll just try it inside the double welt pocket continuously until I get the exact measurement I need. And when I get the exact measurement I need, I'll stop and I'll gum it to the fabric and turn. And I'll be showing you the process of how I turn this double welt into a jacket pocket. So I've succeeded in getting the exact measurement I need. So all I just need to do now is to trim finally and attach it with a steam iron to the fabric. Then I'll use the lining to turn it outwards and my flap will be ready, and that will be the final piece of the jacket pocket. After attaching gum stay to the fabric, we'll trim the fabric to a quarter inch before the position of the gum stay. Then we'll use that fabric to cut out the lining. So we'll place both front facing front. Then we'll sew on the edge of the attached gum stay from the top to the other top of the other end. We'll do the same for the other piece of gum stay we cut out too, and sew from the tip of the top also to the other tip of the top. For the welt pocket, or the single welt pocket as it is mostly called, we will be considering the empty space of the suit to make it on. So I'll be making it on the inner part, that is the part that contains the facing attached to the lining. But before we choose where to put it, we have to turn it to the front to see there's a free space upward. There's no pocket upward, just only the jacket pocket on the down part. So on that free space, that is where we'll be creating our welt pocket, on that free space, but we'll be creating it inwards, and it will be on the inner part of the suit, that is the facing attached to the lining. So we'll be drawing a line, and on that line will be the position we'll be making the welt pocket. That line will determine the position and also determine how wide we want our pocket to be. So we'll mark the beginning and the end of that line, then we'll attach gum stay to a piece of fabric and place it side by side. Then the upper part of the stitch will be the exact measurement, and the down part will be a little wider than the upper part. Yeah, after making our stitches on opposite sides, you can see what we got. The down stitch is longer than the upper stitch, so the slant will be favorable. So after that, I've also added strength to the lining by adding hairstay. You can use your paper stay. Like I said from the beginning, I want to use hairstay for everything while making this suit. And after that, I'll be going straight to the making of the welt pocket, and that will be by notching the middle between both stitches. So after creating an opening with that notch, I'll use my scissors to notch diagonally to the edge of the upper stitch. I'll make sure I get closer to the point, but I won't touch the stitch. And I'll also do that to the edge of the lower stitch, making sure I come close, but I won't also touch the thread. I'll turn it all around, and I'll do the same for the opposite side, notching to the edge of the down stitch but not touching the stitch. If you touch the stitch, you've actually succeeded in destroying the whole process, so you don't even need to touch the stitch, not for any reason. So after creating arrowheads for both sides, I'll fold the upper part completely inwards. So you see, a welt pocket is different from a double welt pocket. For a welt pocket, you fold the upper part completely inwards, so everything enters, and you make sure everything is totally inserted like that. Then for the down part, you fold by ½ inch after folding the upper part inwards. For a double welt, you fold a ½ inch on both sides, but for a single welt like this, you fold the upper part totally inwards. Then the down part you fold by ½ inch. Not necessarily ½ inch, it depends on the distance between the upper and the lower stitch. If the distance between the upper and the lower stitch is 1 inch, you definitely fold by 1 inch. But for this, since I made a ½ inch stitch on both sides, double two times a quarter is a half inch. So ½ inch is the height between both stitches. So I'll fold to half. So as you can see, the slant is showing, and this is part of the finishing of a suit. You just want to create, some people go as far as creating designs with this welt pocket, even putting a label below it. So if you have a label, you can just make use of your hand needle to attach it, or you can even use your, but this is practically one of the finishing process of the front piece. If you are working on the front piece, you just get to decide what to do with your welt pocket. So you sew the arrowhead down on both sides. So you sew the arrowhead down on both sides and give it a good press, and that will be all.